Welcome to the I Hate Critics Movie Review Podcast. I'm professional film critic Sean Patrick. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, Emily.
Check us out on various different social medias where I'm sure we're doing something at some point. And of course, Jeff, where can they get your art?
JeffLassiter.com. We'll give you all my links. I still have a couple of my May the 4th pieces that I did based on some old 1980s Empire Strikes Back sheet sets.
Cool.
So it's something I'm pretty proud of, actually.
We just did a story at Movies of the 80s about Star Wars. It's actually the second one we've done recently, but that has nothing to do with the movie. Apparently, in 1983, a kid stole an entire copy of Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Took the whole thing, the whole film, 8 film cans in all, weighing about 350 pounds. He was 17 years old. He had a gun. He went to this movie theater in Overland Park, Kansas. He held the cinema manager with a gun, and then once everybody was gone, he made him take him up to the booth and packed up an entire thing of Return of the Jedi and was going to try and sell it in Overland, Kansas. Where the fuck did he think he was going to sell? I mean, first of all, even if somebody was interested in owning that, who's going to have that kind? It was a 70 millimeter copy for fuck's sake, like the giant film reels. What did he think? Who's going to buy that from him? He turns out he got caught because he went to a video store to ask the video store owner if he wanted to buy it, and it's like, I own a video store, dude.
I don't own a 70 millimeter movie theater, dude.
It's not New York or Los Angeles or somewhere, London, Japan, that might have like a market that could use this, that could duplicate it, turn it into video cassettes at the time.
Yeah,
it's 1983, and you're in Overland Park, Kansas. Like, what's the plan?
Oh. Well, some people just want to watch the world burn. And by that, I mean the cigarette burns in the corners of the film.
Yeah, so that's up now if you want to go read that. Substack.com and Movies of the 80s. It's a fun story. We did that one recently, and we also did one on The Man with Bogart's Face. Are you familiar with that movie?
I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it, except maybe it has some guy who looks like Humphrey Bogart.
Robert Saatchi is an actor who couldn't get work for a long time because he looks so much like Bogart that if you put him in pictures next to Bogart, you can't tell it's not him. Like the resemblance is one of the most uncanny things in the world. He would have to be his son or something, because there's just no possible way to have a resemblance like this. He didn't get surgery. He just looked like this. And finally gets a lead role in a movie playing Humphrey Bogart. Yeah. Well, the character name is Sam Marlowe. The movie failed so spectacularly, but it's such a wild story because it was financed by the guy who owns the malls, Simon. Simon, the mall magnate, financed the movie and made his money back before it ever came out because he sold it to airlines.
There's an untapped market. Maybe I should start selling my shit to that.
Just wild. That's why these are the stories we live for over there.
Like, it's so niche that I love it. Oh, we took last week off because I got a cat, and then it was May the 4th, and life comes at you pretty fast. So
you got a cat. What's the cat's name? What Star Wars name did you give it?
Well, I brought him back on May the 4th. Brought him home, and he is fat, so I named him Jabba.
Of course.
Jabba the Tank, because when I'm laying in bed and he wants me to pet him, he almost knocks me out of the bed because he's so fat. He headbutts me like one of those dinosaurs with a dome on their head. Um, yeah, so his name is Jabba. We're settling in. I don't think he likes being home alone all day long, but
Hmm.
that's why I didn't get a dog. To be perfectly frank.
I hear
Oh,
that. Cats probably are better than dogs.
yeah.
For
So
shut-ins, I mean, not for everybody else. There are people who like being outside. I'm sure that dog is
yeah,
great.
yeah. And I like being outside. I live in an apartment and I am gone 9 hours, 10 hours out of a day most days, and um, yeah, there's no way I could give a dog a decent life. I'm barely giving this cat a decent life. He has to live with me after all. So, and I don't even like living with myself. I can't imagine how he feels.
I'll
I
never
have
join
a
a club that would have me as a member.
yep. I have a sideshow Jabba the Hutt statue figure kind of thing, and
Mhm.
his dais would be the perfect size for my cat to lay on, but I don't want to like pull it all down and pull it all apart and stuff. So,
That makes sense.
but maybe I'll find another one somewhere.
A little chained up Leia to wear around his neck.
Mhm. Yeah, he doesn't like toys.
Hmm.
I try to play with toys with him. He just ignores them. He does like his scratch pad if I put catnip on it. So he's kind of like me. He's got very simple tastes and is very lazy. So
Well, as long as he doesn't harm the Star Wars figures, I'm sure he'll be happy.
that door has mostly stayed shut, honestly. Um, although I let him in there, I think Wednesday of the first week he was here, and he walked around, he sniffed around a little bit, and then he walked out and went and got on my bed. So I don't think he's all that interested in Star Wars, little fucker. So, well, I'm still not changing his name.
Let's talk about the box office. The Devil Wears Prada sort of stunning people and remaining number one at the box office for another weekend. People thought for sure that Mortal Kombat 2 would take the top spot. They were predicting anywhere between 45 and $50 million on the weekend for that film, and it only pulled in around 38, underperforming and causing people to wonder if there will be a Mortal Kombat 3, even as there was a big tease at the end of that.
I kind of hope not. Um, that's actually very surprising because usually, a movie like that would take the top spot. But
Yeah,
I
most of
guess
the time
people are
you
mesmerized by Meryl Streep.
I think the message too is resonating. Let's dig right into it because The Devil Wears Prada 2 is the first one we're going to talk about tonight. And we do have Meryl Streep back, and along with Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci. The magazine is undergoing a brief bit of scandal. They've published a story that turns out to have been linked to a sweatshop, and they're being dragged for it. In order to get out from under it, the owner of the company, Miranda's boss, goes to Anne Hathaway's character and brings her back. Brings Andy back to be the features editor, and she gets him pretty much out of the hole. But of course, she's still at odds with Meryl Streep, and who doesn't like having new people around, and still has. Finally, I'm so glad they explained why she was so hostile in the trailer because. Like that trailer made no sense the way it was,
Yeah.
but with the story, the trailer does make sense, so I can get over it now. Um, the whole thing is basically boils down to something that resonates, I think, or should resonate with everyone right now, and that's the fact that tech bros and finance bros are ruining everything, and they're so evil and so gross that they make even Meryl Streep's character in this movie feel like an underdog hero. I
Mhm.
was I found myself on her side, uh, which is I didn't expect because she's like such a mean character. But And of course, I've always been somebody who's criticized, the fashion industry, the excess of the fashion industry, but I can recognize that fashion is an art form, and I can understand that writing about fashion is equally an art form, and the idea of these, tech and finance bros coming in and, you know, turning everything into a number and, turning everything into, balance sheets just is really, really gross and really disgusting, and they're making it very impossible for these people to do the job that they've been doing successfully for many, many years. And I just it's really that's the reason why these bad things happen is these people have no perspective beyond their bank account, beyond whatever it is that interests them only, and they're going to ruin everything for everyone just to get their brief time here on Earth to be as special as it possibly can be. And that is a truly gross and disgusting way to live. And there are two characters that embody that here, one played by BJ Novak and one played by Justin Theroux. They're both just horrific characters, terrible human beings, and incredibly well played because I hated them both enough to really make me like this movie, make me like seeing them not get the things that they wanted.
Yeah, I didn't. I knew that Justin Theroux was in this movie, but I did not recognize him at first.
Yeah.
He
It's
just
it's an odd it's an odd character because he plays a guy who used to be overweight and unattractive, and, Justin Theroux has never played a character really like that before, I don't think. And then he gets made up into, through surgery and whatnot into a I don't know, like what Mark Zuckerberg is, kind of a little bit of Mark
yeah,
Zuckerberg, a little bit of Elon Musk.
but yeah, he just
Still
didn't
as
look
ugly as
like.
ever, but
Well, yeah, yeah. I think they did some like sort of like prosthetics to his face. I think because
Mhm.
Justin Theroux is a very angular and thin, and he had that like kind of chubby face um thing going on. So unless he gained a lot of weight for the role, I feel like they did some prosthetics to him, which was fine. But I just didn't recognize him until I'm like, oh wait, that's Justin Theroux's character. Okay, so yeah,
This movie just captures so many things, like, Andy getting fired at an awards dinner, like, her entire staff of the newspaper she's working for, or magazine or whatever it was, getting fired during an awards ceremony, like, so that's a real story. That's a real thing that's happened, to journalists in this day and age, and it's just so fucked up and gross, and again, just shining that light on those finance and tech bros who just ruin
mhm. Private equity is it's kind of the end stage of capitalism because there's it ruins so many things that it touches. I remember when Mitt Romney was running for president, one of the times he was running, I read a story about Bain Capital, which is where he made all his money, and how it was the one that was responsible for buying KB toys and running it into the ground just to make a profit for themselves. So, and as a toy collector, I was, always go to KB and Toys R Us and whatever, and losing one of those stores is, just sucked. And now I know that it was because of that motherfucker. Um, did I call him a
These are
motherfucker?
the assholes who only watched the first half of of Pretty Woman with with Richard Gere's character just making money, and they didn't see the
Mhm.
end part where he stops doing that and starts making ships.
Yep.
I hate that movie, but it's a good metaphor because like that's the same idea. He bought companies, cut them into pieces to make his own money, and then essentially ruined massive amounts of industry.
Right, right. So I've heard some bad things from some people I really liked about The Devil Wears Prada too, and I don't get the hate. I mean, I understand it has its issues, but I don't. One of the main things that I've heard from a couple people was that they made Meryl Streep too relatable and nice, and I was just like, well, it has been 20 years, and even Anna Wintour has become a little more forward and nice, and a little more open. Um,
That's the
and I
weirdest
think,
criticism I've ever heard.
well,
I'm sorry,
it's like
because I don't think the
because
character is all that nice at all.
No, but and she was like the worst bitch ever imaginable in the first one.
Mhm,
With with just a couple moments of humanity. But in here, yeah, of course, Me Too happened, and even Miranda, who is still a woman, treated people like shit and has to kind of make up for it a little bit by not throwing her coat at her assistant and hanging it up by herself. Like little things like that. And it's played for laughs, but yeah, it's a real thing. She's got a fat assistant, a fat male assistant who she never would have had previously.
mhm.
Um, it's she has a little more humanity, and I can't imagine that after 20 years she could still play it as that one note bitch because that's just not, that's not reality, especially when the magazine industry is facing what it's facing with, the death of print journalism as evidenced by Andy's scene where she gets fired by text. Um, it's just they don't want to pay people for actual like art anymore, and everything is AI, and it ruins everything.
Mhm.
Um, I know someone who does the same job that I do, but uses ChatGPT for everything, and it's so obvious. It's so it's like it's just you can really pick it out after you notice it, and everything that she does is generative AI, and then has the nerve
Yeah.
to tell me I should download it and do it. And I'm like, no, I actually only used ChatGPT once, and that was to rewrite my resume, and then I rewrote it a couple times since then. Just I just needed a fresh eye on it, and I've then have rewritten it a couple times. But
Mhm.
I don't I don't see how she could remain the same bitch that she was. She lost her husband. She lost her. She kind of lost her humanity, and that has to kind of you have to grow from that. Otherwise, you're doing the same movie the same time. It's like the Force Awakens. Nobody really
Mhm.
grows. Um. So yeah, I think that I really actually and I enjoyed it. I did. There are a few things that would I have changed, maybe, but not. Nothing major. I liked the
Mhm.
chemistry she had with the guy that she met. I liked Tracy Toms was back as still her friend. Um, I had a good time, and I I thought it was gorgeous. One of my friends hated her coat with all the tassels on it, like the curtain tassels, and I absolutely fucking loved that jacket. Um, so I guess I don't know if I'm wrong or what, but I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the whole like core cast again. So
Yeah, and I gotta shout out Stanley Tucci because I think he deserves an Oscar nomination. He's like, he's just brilliant in this movie. The way he bridges that gap between Miranda and everyone is remarkable. The way the bridge that he is, the heart that he brings to it, and there's that moment at the end when he kind of lets Andy know that he was the one who intervened to get her the job. I choked up. I started getting a little teary because it was really just such a beautifully sweet moment, and so incredibly well earned for him. On top of
mhm.
him getting, to do the speech and to present the their presentation in Milan. He got a bunch of really big moments, and I was so impressed with the way that
Yeah,
they did the way they developed that character and kept giving him
mm.
new ways to shine.
He's really the unsung hero of this, I guess, franchise, for lack of a better term. Yeah, it's only a sequel so far, but I can see them having another one now. After the ending, I think that he's just really the one who, um, it's the glue that holds the movies together. Because
Undoubtedly. Yeah.
without him, it would just be bitch fight. So
I don't
does.
understand what it is that anyone would want her to be the same character again. It's like,
Yeah.
ugh, it's so annoying. Um, it's that's the least. It's the dumbest part of criticism, honestly.
Mhm.
Characters need to be able to change and find different levels of depth. And if you're going to actually care about this character and care that they're there and they're alive, they can't just be one note. And certainly Meryl Streep is not going to play a one note character. She never has. Even in her worst movies, she doesn't play a one note character.
Yeah.
Um, she finds new layers every time, and she was completely unpredictable from moment 1 to moment last in this movie. You thought
Mhm.
there are many moments where you think she might soften or do something, kind or whatever, and she doesn't. She doesn't take the easy way out. She keeps this character, true to herself, even if that is, uncomfortable for those of us in the audience, and, the
Mhm.
majority of people who are okay with her kind of getting a little bit better. She's not the same character. She's, 20 years older and still, struggling to stay relevant and alive in the business that she's in.
Yeah, it's really, it goes to show, like, what a good businesswoman she is, that she has stayed in her position even though that position has been tarnished somewhat. She has stayed in that place where she's the most comfortable and gives the most. Um, and that's a real testament to her as a character, and that she can pull it off as a testament to Meryl Streep, the actor. So,
Also, a shout out for Emily Blunt, who also kind of evolves her character just a little bit, just enough anyway.
mhm.
Her relationship with Andy is really sweet at the end, especially, and and yeah, then there's the double cross in the middle, which was good. That was a really solid one. I was really impressed with that turn, and then the turn back, which was
Mhm.
unexpected and really welcome. I liked what they did with her, and I love how Emily Blunt played it. Not she wants so badly to be a badass, but she also kind of really does want to have a friend, and that was really sweet.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I enjoyed the interplay with her and Andy because you could see how that is, um, that that feeling develops over the course of this movie where she starts off with kind of being dismissive and, "Your eyebrows are just the worst," and then, by the end of it, she's like, "I'm so glad I have finally have a friend." So,
Yeah. If, of course, and we got to maintain as good as this movie is, there's still a better Anne Hathaway movie that's still playing in some places.
yes,
So, see Mother
yes.
Mary, A24. How could you? Um,
Ugh.
is it gone? It's gone from our theater, isn't it?
It's gone
1
from our
week.
theater, yeah.
Yeah.
My,
Right. Ugh.
my friend Phil, we go to trivia on Wednesday nights together sometimes, and we did Star Wars trivia last Monday, which is my fault. That's the reason we didn't do the show last week, and we're doubling up this week. But he said, "Yeah, I went to buy tickets the next day, which would have been Thursday, and it was already gone. So didn't even last a week, which is
Disgusting.
terrible because that movie is the best movie of the year." So,
It's the best movie of the year. No jokes, no lies. That's just true.
mhm. I told a friend that.
I can't get over it.
Yeah, I told a friend that, and he didn't believe me. He was just like, "Oh, come on." I was like, "No, you don't understand. It really is." So,
Well, yeah, we both recommend The Devil Wears Prada 2, the second best Anne Hathaway movie of 2026,
so far,
but the
who
highest
knows?
grossing, obviously. Um, Also last week, we had a horror film called Hokum, starring Adam Scott, directed by Damian McCarthy. The story of an author who is a kind of a Stephen King vibe to him, who goes to pour out his parents' ashes at a Irish resort that is very scary looking. It's very gothic in its way, and there's a mystery. There might be a witch somewhere in the building. He is desperately sad, and we think at a certain point he does try to take his own life, and then the story really kicks into gear. This movie is such a great piece of architectural horror. The building that they put this movie in is so awesome. The way the various different they make great use of a dumbwaiter. They've got these catacombs that are incredibly well used. The and just the character motivations. You don't come away from this movie, Jeff, knowing exactly what happened. I mean, we really don't. We think that maybe there might have been something supernatural, but he might have been high. We don't know for sure, and that's really remarkable. Um, I was only the only thing that bothered me was just what happened to Francis or Florence Ordesh's character, which I was like, no, I want her around.
Yeah.
She was so great. I wanted more of her, and we weren't able to get more of her, which is sad. But uh, still, you had terrific performances from David Wilmot and Austin Emilio. Like, there's just a great cast of Irish actors who are just giving it everything, and a very clever piece of storytelling. I was really impressed.
Oh, yeah, yeah, me too. I I I think Adam Scott was kind of the perfect person for this one. He's not a dick, but he can give kind of dick energy, and that's what he gives in this one. And until he's like, I don't think he even planned his suicide. That in this, I think he was just kind of overwhelmed by the fact that he's scattering his parents' ashes and he's remembering his mother's death and how that happened. And I think it just kind of overwhelms him to talk about her. And I
Uh-huh.
think that's where he ends up.
Yeah, that was quite a bold
You
piece
know,
of storytelling. That what happened with his mother I'm again trying to avoid spoiling too much, but that is it's emotional, it's terrifying, and it's all too real.
yeah, yeah, just a really good original horror movie. And we've gotten, everybody says, oh, there's no good um, ideas. There really are. And movies like Hokum and Mother Mary just show you that the good ideas are seemingly only in horror movies now because of the fact that, you know, they're they've been kind of we've been inundated with them over the last 6 months almost. It's just I really think that this is the this is one of the better horror movies that I've seen in the last couple of years. And I have recommended it to almost everybody who's asked me what to see. So it's
And
really clever and
gotta shout out the director, because the director, Damian McCarthy, did a tremendous job on this movie.
mm,
He also made Oddity in
yeah,
2024, which is
yep.
one of the better horror films of that year. Like,
Best jump
that was
scare
a
in the last
low-key
10 years.
underrated horror, and again, his architecture in that film was incredible, and it's incredible here.
Yeah.
The man knows spooky locations and how to use them.
Oh yeah. And yeah, his he is one of the better horror directors working today. Um,
Makes me wanna go back and see Caveat. I never saw, Caveat from 2020. I don't know of anything about it other than it was his first, feature, and, now I kinda wanna see that.
oh yeah, I don't even know that. So, huh.
3
Yeah,
for 3 on one-word titles: Caveat, Oddity, and Hokum now.
oh, yeah, I recommend it. I recommend both Devil Wears Prada and Hokum.
Yeah, same, like,
So,
they're 2 really good movies, 2, very different movies, obviously, but 2 very good movies nonetheless, and, of course, Hokum is likely to join, Mother Mary on the on the scrap heap very soon, so you're probably not gonna have it much of a chance to get out to see that,
yeah,
because people have no
yeah.
taste.
This is this is very true.
They spent they spent all their ticket money, oh, well, not all of it, but too much ticket money on Mortal Kombat 2, Jeff.
Oh God. Okay, so I felt really bad about last week that I hadn't gotten to see Devil Wears Prada 2 by the time we were supposed to do it. I am working 2 jobs and I got a cat, so I'm sorry, but, um, so I thought, "Okay, well, uh, I'm gonna have to go see Mortal Kombat 2." I was hoping somebody was gonna, pirate it for me, but they didn't, um, so I had to, and I had the longest day possible yesterday. I worked in the morning. I had um, a volunteer thing for the Festival of Trees that nobody showed up to. So, and then I hadn't seen my cat all day. So I was like, you know what? I might not see it. And then I started to feel guilty that you would see it and I wouldn't. And so I went to the 8 o'clock showing. And I'm going to tell you right now, I almost started snoring.
Yeah.
It's If you're not a Mortal Kombat, like, the game fan, I never played it. I haven't seen any of the movies or the TV shows or whatever. Um, Carl Urban, I like him, but I wasn't, he's not somebody I would just go see because he's in a movie. And I gotta tell you, unless you are really invested in this as a game, as a franchise, this was gory and dull. And I hate to use those two together, but gory and dull, and I didn't know who I was rooting for. I didn't know how this was supposed to come together or anything. It was just gory and dull.
Yeah, there's no characterization to Johnny Cage beyond the joke that he was a Steven Seagal in the '90s, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but it kept himself in better shape, I guess, than
Yeah,
the real Steven Seagal.
yeah, he actually, I was getting, like, MacGyver. If MacGyver and Chuck Norris had a baby, it would have been him. Um, and the whole, like, putting his sunglasses on, and I was just like, "Okay, that's his whole character? He's fucking MacGyver, Jackie Chan all rolled into one? Whatever." Um, I couldn't tell you anything about any of the other ones except robot arms and fire hands, and
Yeah,
then force
the kid who
lightning.
got his who got his head smashed was the lead of the last movie. He was like
Oh,
he was the whole story of Mortal Kombat 1, and sorry, spoiler alert, he gets his head smashed in this movie. He's gone. He's done for. Fatality.
wow. I did not see the last one. I tried to watch it, but I was watching our classic instead. So, yeah, I didn't really care if I saw it. And when I talked to you outside the theater after Sheep Detectives, you were like, "I don't think you're gonna miss any of the context," and I sure didn't.
No, I had no memory of who anyone was from the first movie, and I've seen it. Other than I remember the lead guy because he could turn himself, like, into steel or something, but it didn't help him from getting his head smashed, and the movie
Yeah.
does nothing to make that feel special. It does 0 to make that feel special in any way, which is weird.
Well,
It's weird. He was
I
like the
yeah.
centerpiece of the first film, and now he's just smashed.
See, as someone who has not seen that first one, I should know that he is the hero from that one. They should set that up. Instead, we've got some medieval um, story from another realm about this little girl who watches her dad get murdered by one of the Sith from, like, way, way, way back or way in the future. I don't remember. It's all expanded universe, and I don't understand it. But that's all I kept thinking about when I saw the guy in the mask. I was just like, "Oh, he's one of the Darths," but I can't remember if it's Darth Cadus or whatever. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Um, but I should I should have known that that guy was the lead from the last one. But they wanted to bring in Carl Urban for some reason to be the star.
Johnny Cage is a character who's incredibly popular from the game. I guess I never played the game
No.
either, so I don't know for sure. I just know that aspect of it, that there was a big thing about hiring him and getting him into this movie because he was he's so beloved from the game. And I don't really think Carl Urban added anything to this movie,
No.
other than being the only name I can remember from it. That's pretty much pretty much the beginning and end of it for me. I mean, there's nothing against the rest of the cast. I just don't know them very well. Off the top of my head, I can't pull a single name, and other than Carl Urban.
Yeah, and Louis Tan was in there, but with all the makeup and appliances and stuff, I didn't recognize him. So yeah, I just the God, it was I I almost wish I had just not gone and just said, "Hey, I went. It was late at night and I fell asleep and I don't know what happened." But I couldn't do that to the show. So yeah, I went and I almost fell asleep and I wasted my time and one of my movie credits. So
You missed out on time with your cat to see Mortal Kombat 2,
yes, it's true.
a
So
movie that also doesn't have an ending.
yeah.
'Cause all it
Well,
is setting up another movie.
everybody was sat in their seats and I was up. I was like, I don't care if there's a coda. I don't give a shit. I don't give one shit. I'm taking off. And then I was like, everybody sat there. I'm like, wait, okay. So then they go through the main credits and then the other credits roll and everybody was like, oh man. So I don't know if it was after credits or what, but I was in my car by the time those credits were over. So
Yeah, I didn't stay. I did actually like the credits because it taught me who everyone was.
mhm.
I wish they needed that at the beginning. They should have put that at the
Right?
start of the movie.
Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah, just
Yeah, and again, it's from a technical standpoint, it's fine. You know, from a fighting standpoint, it's fine. If you're into these things, it's fine. Like, there's a whole lot of good enough, I guess,
yeah.
in terms of just
It's
the technical
competent.
quality of it. Competent is a good way to put it. This Simon McQuoid is the director. He's a carpenter. He knows how to put the
Mhm.
pieces together to uh, to achieve the making of a movie. But there's no life to it.
Mhm.
There's no there's nothing underneath it. There's no pulse. It just exists as an IP that it's like a zombie IP that is just carrying forward.
Yeah, I will say this. Two guys behind me and the guy who was sitting in the seat that I originally bought, um, were really into it. So congratulations. They were like, "Yeah, all right." I was like,
I envy them, I guess.
"Mm." Yes, that's how
Love
I
what you
was
love,
watching
you
Sheep
know.
Detectives.
Sheep Detectives, a wonderful film starring Hugh Jackman as a sheep herder in the English
Shepherd.
countryside, and he's just a sweetheart of a guy. He loves his sheep. He takes good care of them, and he reads them murder mysteries every night, which is perfect because when he gets murdered, his sheep are the one to step in and try and help solve his murder. Try and help the local police, Nicholas Braun, try and start solve the murder. He gets a little help from a visiting reporter played by Nicholas Galitzin, and of course, then George's daughter, Hugh Jackman's daughter, played by Molly Gordon, shows up and becomes kind of a suspect in the case. And you've got just this wonderful voice cast: Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Bryan Cranston, Chris O'Dowd, Regina Hall, Bella Ramsey, and Patrick Stewart, all just doing wonderful work as the sheep voices. They're just fantastic. There's just wonderful story being told here, with these characters just revealing themselves throughout, just layering in very smartly, very easy for kids to follow at the same time, entertaining enough for parents that it has a little bit of depth to it, to the point where I kind of choked up a couple of times watching this movie because it was so sweet. I do wonder if like maybe one scene is maybe gonna be a little bit too much for the youngest audience, but overall, I did really, I had a great time with this, and I thought I was going to hate it for sure.
So a few months ago, I was looking for free stuff on the Libby app, and because I was all out, I was out of books. All the stuff I was waiting for was weeks away. So I said the Sheep Detectives. I was like, what's that about? And then I read the synopsis, and I'm like, I'm gonna listen to that. And then I was like, this would make such a good movie. This is just, like if they got the right people for the sheep. And so then I looked it up on IMDb. I'm like, I wonder, and sure enough, yeah, I was just kind of blown away that all the people that were going to be in it. Um, yeah, just an absolute delightful movie. Um, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the kind of the backbone of the whole thing, and Patrick Stewart along with her. They really do make it. And I couldn't tell if it was him or Ian McKellen because the sheep the ram that Patrick Stewart voiced looked like Ian McKellen. I mean, it just looked like him as a goat. So if that makes any sense whatsoever. Um, yeah, I just I thought this was so good. It honored um the book, but didn't, it wasn't just rote. It was they really got into the story and loved these characters so much that it was just really special. So
The most surprising thing for me is that obviously I think from the trailer going in that Hugh Jackman's character is going to be murdered, and he's not around for very long. But he's Hugh Jackman; he's the biggest star in the cast, and he leaves. It's such a smart piece of casting to use him because he fills this he fills the space very quickly with this big, wonderful, big-hearted character, and then when he's gone, and it's sad at the same time we know so much about the other characters through him, through these sheep characters through him, that that it was essential that he was there. It was essential to have an actor of this star power in that role to make this as effective as it is.
yeah, yeah, and he's not given a lot to do, but he he exudes so much. So um yeah, I think like the cop is just so ridiculously inept, and then he kind of hits his stride after a while, and I I just had such a good time. The audience loved it. I kind of sometimes wait, if people seem like they're getting into a movie, I kind of wait out and I'll pretend I'm on my phone so I can hear people talking about it.
Mhm.
And this one guy who was probably in his early 20s I think he was there with his brother, and he goes, "Oh, that movie was just delightful." And I was like, "That's awesome. That is just awesome." So,
I love hearing that. I love hearing that.
yeah.
Of course, it didn't do money. It didn't do well. Um, it only did, I think, I'm not I think it made the top 5, but it didn't do
Mhm.
well, which, of course, people just don't go see good movies anymore, and then they go, "Why don't they make good movies anymore? Because you don't
Yep.
fucking see them.
But you
This
don't
is
go to
your
anything that
fault.
isn't an IP.
You went to see Mortal Kombat 2. This is your fault." Not you, Jeff.
No, I know. I don't know if you
I
can hear my cat, but he agrees.
It's frustrating to watch, like Mother Mary disappear and Hokum disappear and, Ready or Not 2 and, uh, They Will Kill You. Like,
Yeah,
these are really good movies that just bombed, bombed and disappeared, and it's just such a fucking shame that
yeah,
no one goes to see good fucking movies.
right. And what's weird is our theater will have something like that's 6 weeks old, and they just keep it around, and I'm like, "How is that still making money when, like, we got shit like, um, uh, Mother Mary that is gone after a week?" That should have been a 2-week run at least just so people could
Mhm.
discover it, but
Yeah, it was definitely one that needed an introduction, but at the same time, A24 fucked that one up.
yeah.
Just don't put it out the week before fucking another Anne Hathaway movie, for fuck's sake. The biggest movie of the year so far, seemingly.
Yeah,
Ugh,
just not
just
not a good strategy on their part.
terrible, terrible strategy. Just god awful.
Yeah, and I don't understand. So you got movies like Hokum that are going to be there a couple weeks. You've got other movies that are coming out that are that kind of thing. Why not try to capitalize on that by having a movie like Mother Mary that's just so esoteric and interesting, and then not having to bring back something silly. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what A24 thinks. Backrooms is going to be. That comes out in a few weeks, and I
Apparently,
don't.
it is tracking to be pretty big.
Yeah. And did you hear that? There was a secret producer on it.
No,
Do you know who? Oz
no,
Perkins.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, oh, also, you know how we don't do Angel Studios, and we no longer really do animal or animated movies for kids.
yeah.
One of my coworkers at my second job was talking about how his girlfriend is such a fan of the book Animal Farm that they went to see it, and
Ooh.
completely changes the ending to make it so that capitalism isn't bad. Oh, and he's like, "Oh, have you seen that for your show?" And I'm like, "No, we don't watch animated shit, and we don't watch Angel Studios." He's like, "What's Angel Studios?" I said, "It's Christian propaganda." He goes, "Well, that would make sense for this movie because everybody is like kumbaya at the end of it." So I'm
Yeah,
glad that we did not do that one.
no, that's it's so fucked up. It's so bad. I haven't watched it, but I watched a bunch of people talk about it and dunk on it, and thank God they're going to lose a lot of money on it because they deserve to lose a lot of money on that.
Mhm.
I, Orwell wouldn't have been okay with this movie. I mean, not clearly, it's not going to. You just totally gutted his book to make a shitty animated kids movie that also reaffirms capitalism. Animal Farm, that story that reaffirms capitalism. Animal Farm. It's kind of like that movie 1984, where that is all about the surveillance state being great.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Like, of course, this comes out of Angel Studios. It's like Angel Studios acting as the Trump administration's minister of propaganda. They just go in and take animal farms and change it all to something that's pro capitalism.
Well, it's being run by Lena Wertmiller. Mm.
Oh, Back to the Sheep Detectives, just wonderful film. Complete opposite of something called Black Sheep, which was released around 20 years ago, and is a story about a guy who gets his dick ripped off by a sheep. I think that's the part I saw.
Oh,
After
yeah,
he fucks her first, he fucks the sheep first, then he gets
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
I
Jeff,
actually
what the fuck,
What was I
man?
thinking? Oh, I was like, "You know what? We're doing a movie about sheep this week. Let's go revisit one of the most bonkers fucking movies I've ever seen in a theater with black sheep."
You saw this in a
Um,
theater?
I saw this in a theater in Chicago. My friend took me to see it. He goes, "Yeah, they're premiering this new movie. Do you want to go see it?" I said, "What's it about?" He goes, "I don't know. It's called Black Sheep, but it's a horror movie from New Zealand." And we were both fans of Peter Jackson's early horror movies. So sure, yeah. And it's got that same kind of feel as like Bad Taste, Brain Dead. It's just everything is fucking bonkers, and it goes places that you just would never ever expect or want a movie to go. Um, and yeah, I'm so glad I made you watch this. I I was like, he's either gonna be really pissed or he's gonna laugh a lot. So
I
Did you?
mostly just lost interest. I didn't really the main character, so it was just kind of a boring character. I liked Experience, Danielle Mason, who's
Mhm.
not apparently done anything after this. Most of the cast hasn't. I can't imagine why. Um, I wasn't engaged by these characters. The idea is outlandish and weird and strange, and it's interesting how they got to it. And I did watch the whole movie, which I didn't think I was going to because at times I was like, I don't need this in my life. I don't need I don't need this. I hung in there. I hung in there, and I got to see that guy get his dick ripped off. So
It doesn't really I don't remember it meandering as much as it does in the first 2 acts. Um, and I I really remembered when I was thinking about this movie, because I haven't watched in a long, long time, like almost 20 years, because I have it on DVD. Um, I mostly remembered the last act when the sheep are going crazy and the brother mutates into one, and then the guy gets his dick ripped off. That's what I mostly remembered. And I was like you. It did take me a few like sessions to watch this on Tubi. Um, Mostly because I didn't want to dig through my DVDs to get to it because it's in a binder. But um, yeah, I the last act kind of saves it for me because it's so fucked up and so bonkers that you just can't believe what you're watching. But
mhm.
the first 2/3 of the movie really does drag, and there's very few really bonkers scenes in it. Um, but yeah, I Oliver Driver plays it, or Nathan Meister plays the younger brother of, um, and they own a sheep farm, and the brother is going to take it over, and I don't know, something genetic experiments, and the next thing you know, sheep are running around biting people, and they're turning into mutant sheep, and then the brother turns into the biggest mutant sheep of all time, and they're the day is saved somehow. But
It's a zombie sheep movie. It's everything that it promises to be. Um, but I don't. There's nothing really special beyond that description. The sheep aren't particularly scary or funny. The movie doesn't know if it's scary or funny.
yeah,
Um, it just has it feels like atonal to me. Like they kind of want to be scary, but they also want to be not taken seriously. And in the end, it just sort of left me going, "All right, well,
it is
that guy's dick's
very,
getting ripped off."
very, yeah, it is very, very like early Peter Jackson
Hmm.
in that it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense, but there's going to be a lot of gore and there's going to be a lot of like mayhem, um, and a lot of running around with a lot of blood everywhere. And kind of that's all it needs to be. But 20 years on, I wasn't, I'm not inspired to go out and upgrade it to Blu-ray or anything like that. Um,
I think
I think,
this is one of those movies, kind of like The Greasy Strangler, where you have to see it with a group of people. You can't watch it alone. If you watch it alone, you're not going to enjoy it because it's just not
yeah,
engaging enough. But if you got an energetic crowd who is there for it and like cheering and getting excited about it, I could see where this could be entertaining with a large group of really fun people. Watching it by myself, I just wanted to turn it off.
yeah. And I think maybe that's what I'm remembering because it was a packed theater for a premiere and everybody was really into it. And, that bonkers third act, I think really kind of set it for me. But yeah, watching it this time, it was like, okay, I wasn't inspired to make any art out of it, which I thought I would be. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait till we get to the end and I can maybe make a sticker or something. I'm like, no, 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 no. So,
What about a happy,
uh,
smiling zombie Hugh Jackman? Like he got bit by one of his sheep and now he's turning into a sheep. There you go. There's a painting
black
for
sheep,
you.
black sheep detectives, except it would just be black sheep.
But he's not evil. He's still George. He comes back and he's just
Yeah,
really nice, but he's a sheep.
yeah. Huh, getting an idea. No. Yeah, unfortunately, this did not land the way it did for me 20 years ago, so I'm sorry.
Again,
Mea
like I said,
culpa.
I years ago I watched the Greasy Strangler alone, and I was just fucking miserable because I just thought, just like, this is not anything.
Mhm.
But then I saw it on a double bill with another movie with the star of the movie there, and and the whole energy of the crowd just changed it to where I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. I don't
Yeah.
think I would enjoy it if I didn't watch it in a crowd, but watching it with a crowd of people who were there for it and really excited about it really created a whole new exciting energy around it. And I wonder if perhaps I saw Black Sheep with a large group of people who are really excited about it, that might rub off and create an atmosphere that makes this more engaging. But without that, no.
And another movie that's kinda like that for me is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, I can see that.
It it's fine and the music is good, but I've never really I saw it on video before I ever saw it with a crowd, and I was like, "I don't get I don't understand." And then I saw it with a crowd on a Saturday night at midnight, and I was like, "Oh my god, this movie is amazing. Everything is great." But yeah, it's kinda like that for me too. I think seeing this movie in the theater with a bunch of people who are really into it and, you know, loving the absolute fucked up special effects by Weta Workshop. Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it for me, so
It's funny you mention Rocky Horror because I watch Rocky Horror every year. I'm a huge fan, but I'm also like really square. I'm square.
Mhm.
I'm total. I'm kind of a geek. That way, I don't really go to club. I've never seen anything. Is the point? And you've actually seen things, so I can enjoy. Like it seems like when I first saw Rocky Horror Picture Show, I'm like, that's insane. That's the most. That's just completely crazy. And so then I saw it live with a group of people, and I'm like, "Oh my god, they're gonna start having sex or something." Like, these people are insane. It was great. It was wonderful, but, like, that was my first real, the my point is that I thought this is what outrageous movies were, and thus I thought I was really cool for watching it every year, and just turns out I'm just really deeply sheltered, or I was.
Uh, yeah, I will I am glad of the fact that even though I live where I live in the armpit of America, I have lived enough places that and I've seen some shit that it kind of I can appreciate things like this a little more, so, yeah. What do we
Alright,
have
well,
next week?
next week, we have Is God Is? This is a revenge horror film with a pretty good cast. Sterling K. Brown is in it, and he plays the bad guy. He's got two daughters who are out to kill him. We got In the Gray with Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal. Looks like kind of a Michael Bay kind of thing. I'm not saying it is Michael Bay, but it looks like a Michael Bay thing. And Obsession, about a man who makes a wish on some supernatural thing, and it turns his girlfriend, the girl who he's friends with, into this insane, obsessed girlfriend who can't leave him alone and might just kill him. So that's all coming out this weekend, and it's the 40th anniversary of Top Gun. So that's going to be in theaters this weekend as well. Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, my niece is really excited to go see that, so
Hmm.
me, not so much.
I'm more interested. I've seen. Don't get me wrong. I like Top Gun Maverick a lot, but I'm more interested to watch a documentary on these kids who keep doing Scientology deep runs. Have you heard about this?
Huh. No,
There's a TikTok trend where kids a kid put a GoPro on his head and then ran into the Church of Scientology in California and tried to go as deep into the building as he possibly could. And he's just yelling like, "Where's Xenu? Where's Xenu? Where's Tom Cruise?"
Oh my
So they
god, that's
caught him and
funny.
threw him out, but then he showed up again, and, like, a whole group of people showed up, and it just got crazy, and ever since then, yeah, People are doing Scientology free runs, and I just want them
Wow.
so bad to get to Jacksonville. I want them to go to Jacksonville so bad because Scientology has an entire city that they bought out as a tax dodge, and people claim that the buildings in Jacksonville are empty. There's this thing that, like, there
Really?
might be a couple people, but they don't actually do anything. They need it as a shelter, for taxes to show that they have, like, holdings, but they're intentionally not doing anything with them. I would love to see these speedrunners, these Scientology speedrunners head there and find out what's going on because that would be so much fun.
Wow, I would love it. I just want him to run in and yell, "Where's Shelly Mishkovich?"
Yeah. One guy dressed up as Jesus. He was great. He was hilarious.
Oh, I wanna see Leah Remini doing this.
Well, Leah, she's against it. She said, that they shouldn't be doing it because it gives Scientology what it wants. They get to be the victim. They're the victim in this because they have people, knocking over their employees and creating havoc in their buildings, and this just reinforces their victimhood. But and
Wow.
I'm not condoning crime, Jeff. I'm not trying to encourage anyone to commit a crime. But if you're
Do
gonna
it.
do it, wear a GoPro on your head.
Yes. Yes.
I want to see more.
Yes, do that, please. Mm.
But again, we don't condone crime.
Sure, okay. I mean, literally, like, I swore I wasn't gonna say anything, but literally there's no laws that apply to anybody anymore except for poor people, so
True.
do what you want. I don't give
Very
a
true.
fuck.
All right, Jeff, you'll have to come up with a classic for next week.
Oh my god, do I really? Yeah, I do,
And
don't I?
and and it can't be Top Gun.
No, I don't care about Top Gun. Literally, the only thing about Top Gun that I like is the homosexual volleyball scene, with playing with the boys. Playing with the boys. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and
Um,
they're just complete obliviousness to to it. It's wonderful.
oh god, yeah, it's just like, you guys know that you're gay, right? Like, yeah, you're definitely homosexuals. You just don't know it yet. Oh.
All right, Jeff, thanks.
All right, have a good one, everybody.